There are two very unpopular things you can do in politics. One is lie, and the other is raise taxes. Why would you do one?
There are other options.
To do the other?
Why would she say something that was untrue, that she knew to be untrue, because the Office of Budget Responsibility had already told her?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Julian Discourse. In this explosive TalkTV clash, watch Julia Hartley-Brewer completely corner a Labour Councillor over Rachel Reeves's fiscal narrative and their backwards welfare priorities. While bureaucrats expect everyday taxpayers to work longer hours just to foot the bill, Julia forces him to confront the brutal official facts. Hit subscribe and let's watch their narrative collapse in real time.
This mission that involves them being pulled in all sorts of directions, and I'm pleasantly surprised at the picture on the other side.
You're
of it.
pleasantly surprised, pleasantly relieved that we've got a £30 billion increase in taxes and 16 billion of that is going on welfare.
Well, that's what it's taken to get us where we need to be. Look,
Wait. So we need to be in a situation where we're paying families who've got 3, 4, 5, 6 kids, aren't earning enough money themselves, either on benefits or on just living on universal credit, or only dad's working and only working part-time. They can't afford to look after their kids. And where we need to be is where we tax people who are working all day, every day, to look after their families. We tax them more to give an extra £3.5 grand a kid to those families. That's where we need to be.
So to be clear, you're talking about the
child benefit cap being scrapped. Yeah.
So look, this is the biggest way to fix child poverty in this country.
No, it's not. Those parents getting jobs would solve that.
So 59% of people who receive this, or families who receive this, have at least one parent in work. So
one parent. Okay. Two parents should be in work. Otherwise, why should we help them? And that parent is not necessarily working full time.
So the problem is, Julia, sometimes parents die or become long-term.
Yes, absolutely. We should help those people.
There we go. Then we agree.
Well, there are benefits. If there are bereavement payments, and of course, if you're a single parent, there are other benefits as well. We know that. By the way, most single parents do actually work. They're not sitting on benefits. In most of these cases, they have chosen to have children since 2017, when they knew there was no extra money, and they're carrying on having the kids.
But again, the situation changes. You may choose to have a child and then your partner dies.
The vast majority of these people did not have a partner die. They've chosen to have children. They're just not working, or working hard enough to support their own children. And you think that where we need to be is...
Do you have the number to back that up?
Yes, official statistics show that a very small percentage. It's around. I actually wrote an article to The Sun. I haven't got the figures right, literally in front of me right now. But it is roughly 10% of the families who are on the claiming this universal credit and would benefit from this. They have more than one person. Only they have two parents working.
They have two parents working?
Yeah. Most people, half don't have anyone working, and just above half have parents working, but only one parent working.
We're talking specifically about those parents who are
you
dead.
Have more than two children would benefit, therefore, from this benefit. Yeah, I know it's fat. I know these official statistics. I say I don't have these because I wanted to talk to you about Rachel Reeves more. No, this whole nonsense that these parents need to be helped. The only way of helping them. No, the way they should be helped is being told you need to work full time, both of you. And that's how you support your 4, 5, or 6 kids, because it's not everyone else's problem. That's the solution.
If you've got 4 children and your partner's dead, it's quite hard to work full time.
Most of these parents don't have a dead partner.
But this is it. I'm asking you for that statistic.
They don't have a dead. No. Half of these parents, they're 2 parents, and they're half are single parents. Single parents are also supposed to contribute. But by the way, any absent dad contributing, that isn't taken into account by the benefit. So there's no record of how much money they give. It's not taken into account about whether they're in poverty or not.
But what I'm slightly bemused by is you're saying most of these people don't have a dead or ill partner.
There's no reason to believe that. There's no reason to think that.
But you're the one making the point, but you can't back it up with any stats. So it's
no. There's just simply there's no evidence that is the case. So why are you claiming it?
You're making a.
Did Rachel Reeves mislead the public?
I don't think she did. I mean, look, we heard from Starmer today, and he laid out the figures, and he was saying that when they had the productivity review put in front of them by the OBR, there was £16 billion in the red. Now, look, we're not even talking about breaking even here, because, of course, we need the fiscal headroom. And we saw last year that £9 billion wasn't enough, which is why we've ended up with £22 billion this time. So to get from 16 billion in the red to 22 billion in the green, that's a big gap to plug. So I can see why they at one point considered raising income tax.
That's not why. That's not what she told the cabinet, according to a cabinet minister in the room. That is not what she told the public on the 4th of November in that early morning press conference. That's not what the Office of Budget Responsibility had told her on the 31st of October.
You're right. There seems to be disagreement between the OBR and...
There seems to be. No, they have stated the fact that we sent this information on this date. She has claimed that she had different information. They're able to prove in black and white that they did send her that information. So someone is lying.
Yeah, look, there's clearly a disagreement. But if you have that 16 billion hole to fill, you are going to look at other measures. Now, look, unhelpful, of course.
There wasn't a hole to fill. That's the whole point. She and the Prime Minister had seen the Office for Budget Responsibility document. They did not share that with the Cabinet. They did not share that with the public. They did not share that with the markets. They chose to keep that private. They chose to claim that there was this massive big hole and they were going to use that to justify tax rises. Only when there was a big uproar from the backbenchers and the public that they decided to backtrack on that. But they misled the public, didn't they?
So explain this to me, because you've been in this game for a long time. I'm sure you'll have.
Don't consider this a game.
There are two very unpopular things you can do in politics. One is lie, and the other is raise taxes. Why would you do one?
There are other options
to do the other.
I mean, God knows the level of incompetence and hypocrisy of your the government you support knows no bounds. But she wanted to set the scene, ready to break the manifesto pledge to the public about not raising taxes, and didn't want to outcry on the day. I think my guess is they were going to put out this 2p income tax rise, and when it was 1 pence, everyone would go, "What a relief!" But that was what they were planning to do.
So you think that they deliberately scared people?
Yes.
Deliberately lied?
I know they did. I don't think they did. We know that's what they did.
And then now deliberately try to cover it up. That just sounds completely bonkers.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the government you support.
Yeah, it is. And what I'm saying is I don't buy into your theory.
Don't buy into it. You think that the cabinet minister who talked at the time, they're lying. You think that there's calls for an ethics inquiry, financial conduct authority inquiry. The public were told something that was categorically, provably untrue on the 4th of November. Untrue. And you think that the Chancellor didn't lie. Why would she say something that was untrue, that she knew to be untrue, because the Office of Budget Responsibility had already told her?
That's exactly the question I'm asking you. If the numbers are there in black and white, why on earth would you lie?
The Office of Budget... No, God knows. Because they wanted to justify raising taxes and busting the manifesto. Do you think the OBR is lying?
I don't know what's going on, because I don't...
Well, you should read up on it, mate. You're a Labour councillor. The OBR have written to MPs in the Commons and said, these are the facts. This is what we told the Chancellor. The Chancellor and the Prime Minister in Cabinet and the Chancellor on television on the 4th of November told the public something completely different. It distorted the markets. It affected what investments were made and the value of the pound, the value of our gilts and our borrowing. There was distortion of the markets, distortion of what she was telling the public. And you think, well, there's no explanation for it, so it didn't happen. So she said something that was different from what the OBR have put in black and white. They told the government, but you still think that she didn't lie.
Look, I'm accepting that there are two accounts here. But what would
you can't decide between them which one was the truth. So if Rachel Reeves didn't lie, the Office for Budget Responsibility has lied in that letter to MPs, yeah?
I'm saying I don't know, because I don't work for the OBR and I don't sit in number 11, so I've not been a fly on the wall in any of this.
Is it possible they're both telling the truth?
I have no idea. But the point is, we have a budget...
Yes, you do.
Really...
They can't both be telling the truth.
It was very well received. The markets were very...
It wasn't well received.
Of course it was. Have you seen what happened in the markets afterwards?
No, the markets were expecting a complete beep show.
We had the FTSE up.
Have you seen the polls since? Have you seen the polls?
I'm not talking about the top polls.
You're not talking about the voters. They don't matter.
Well, no, we can talk about the voters separately, but I'm currently...
Well, the voters don't think it went down well.
Would you like to engage with me on that, or would you like to move on?
The voters don't think it went down very well, do they?
So Julia, I'm currently making a point about the financial markets. I'm inviting you to...
You said the budget went down well, and then you clarified and said it was the money markets.
Yes,
fine.
and I'm
It didn't
inviting you
go
to
down
engage
well.
on
It didn't
point.
go down badly.
And you're choosing not to. Is that because you don't have a counter-argument?
I'm just saying that they were expecting something worse. That doesn't mean it went down well.
It looks a bit like you're floundering when I'm bringing up the subject of financial markets.
I don't think that's how most people are going to see this conversation, with all due respect, Sebastian. Does it matter what the voters think?
And you're choosing not to.
I've just answered your point about the markets.
Well, what did you answer? Because
I literally just said I've got. Look, I'm supposed to be already on another interview. So, does it matter to you that the voters don't think it was a good budget?
Well, look again. Once again, you're moving the point away.
Well, yes, because I'm trying to get to another subject, because I've already answered your point about the money markets. They thought it was going to be worse than it was. They didn't welcome it. Full stop. Right. Does it matter what the voters think?
Okay, so we're gonna ignore that. That's fine.
No, I literally just answered your question.
What you just witnessed on TalkTV is what happens when the establishment's economic narrative collides with basic common sense. When Julia Hartley-Brewer cornered that Labour councillor, she exposed the core absurdity of modern progressive governance. The arrogant belief that everyday, hard-working taxpayers should work longer hours and sacrifice their own family's future just to subsidize an expanding welfare state. To understand why this clash is so educational, look at the undeniable timeline and official facts behind Labour's fiscal smokescreen. Leading up to the autumn budget, Chancellor Rachel Reeves delivered a dramatic Downing Street speech on November 4th, 2025, warning the public of a dire financial crisis to prepare the country for painful tax increases. But on November 28th, Office for Budget Responsibility Chair Richard Hughes took the unprecedented step of releasing a formal letter to Parliament's Treasury Select Committee. That letter confirmed that by October 31st, 4 days before Reeves's gloomy public press conference, the OBR had officially informed the Treasury that public finances were actually sitting on a $4.22 billion net surplus. So why push a crisis narrative when the official economic watchdog projects a surplus? Because the political establishment needed a manufactured excuse to justify a staggering tax raid on employers and working families while simultaneously pumping billions more into unchecked welfare spending. Think about how you manage your own household budget. If your family is facing a tight month, you don't walk across the street, knock on your neighbor's door, and demand they work overtime to pay for your groceries. You cut unnecessary spending and live within your means. Yet the ruling class treats your paycheck as an open ATM for their bureaucratic wish list. The era of accepting establishment accounting without question is over. Thank you for watching Julian Discourse. If you refuse to let the political elite gaslight you about your own tax dollars, hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and I'll see you next time.